You got a gun. You got a big gun. You got a gun. It's not a real one. And all you ever think about is running away. All you ever think about is trying to stay away. Stay away from me.
And welcome back to another episode of the Not Safe for Work MMA show. Of course, home on the LoudMouth MMA podcast network. And we are here today to massage those ears.
Young man.
You like that callback?
That's a pun.
It's a callback, right?
Yeah.
Callback that nobody knows.
Yep.
Joining me, I am Kyle Steele, of course. Not the man, the myth, the legend. But the man, the myth, the legend is with me. His name is Fred Kirby. Hello, Fred.
The one and only.
Oh, boy. Okay. What's weird...
If you guys only knew what we talked about before, I know that all podcasts say this bullshit. Like, if you only heard what we said before we started, if you guys heard what we just talked about before we recorded, and we can't talk about this because it would fucking ruin me publicly.
Yeah,
right.
right.
If we did, just know that it would be really fucking fun.
And here's the thing. This is how you know it's bad. The shit that Fred says when the recording's on, he's saying hasn't ruined him publicly.
Right.
So just think about what was said before we hit record. If he's saying it would ruin him publicly, then you fucking know.
It's a lot. It's
like,
a lot.
What would ruin me publicly is like if I was mean to a baby. Like, what ruins you publicly? For whatever reason, we seem to be on different planes of existence.
I got to stretch past the limits for me.
Right, I love it.
Heathen.
Oh, my God. That was one of the greatest conversations I've ever had.
Yeah. One of these days we'll bring it to the public.
We'll see.
We'll see just who's getting their fucking ears massaged.
I did record it though, so it's there.
True.
It's there. It is. It's here.
Fucking blackmail if you need to, as far as it goes.
Yeah, right.
That was one long sound check, you cocksucker.
It was. If I ever need to hit the nuclear button, I'm like, Fred. By the way,
it's a good thing I have very low moral standards because worst come to worst, fucking post it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Fucking call out the most of you on it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, what's funny? You walk in the door today. Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous conversation. You walk in the door, and we usually don't talk about MMA prior to recording. We try not to, right?
Sure.
Maybe a little bit.
Keep it fresh.
But I thought, okay, like I'm gonna say something, because there's nothing to even like really talk about. I just mentioned it.
Right.
I said, what a fucking knockout.
Well, the kick.
Right.
What
a knockout. We all know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And you immediately started arguing. I'm like, wait a minute. How are we in that? Like, I'm the only reason why I'm even saying something is because there's nothing, we're barely even going to talk about it because it's just one of the greatest knockouts to ever happen. And of course, I should know better.
Yeah.
Because this is Fred, and Fred is not an agreeable man. So, Fred, we're going to rehab because I stopped us and said, let's have it on the podcast. So we're just going to redo this, all right? Pretend you just walked in the door. Fred, hello, Fred.
Okay, Mr. Kyle.
Welcome to my house.
All right.
What a fucking knockout, right? Okay, no. Let's go. Let's have the conversation.
Listen, the devil's in the details, okay? It depends on what you're saying. I've seen a lot of people saying immediately, but fuck, I think the UFC tweeted it as the greatest knockout in UFC history.
I'm
what
having
the
trouble,
fucking tweet said.
Off the top of my head, I'm having trouble thinking what was better.
Now, it depends on what your what parameters are we speaking about
knockout.
Here? Okay, but
not what the knockout meant.
Well, but that fucking matters. Listen, Who the fuck did this guy just spinning round back 72 kick?
Well, that doesn't matter. No.
Well, okay, then let's just fucking pull up the Kimbo Slices fight, huh? Let's just pull up fucking street brawls then. If the fucking level of competition has no indicator.
We're talking about UFC first of all. We're not talking about backyards.
Not for fuck's sakes, though.
And even if we were talking about backyards, none of the backyard knockouts were as good as that one.
I mean, listen, we could probably go down some YouTube holes. I'm sure some guys have put on some pretty creative shit in the streets.
But
fucking luck even shines on a dog's ass every once in a while is my fucking point.
So we're talking UFC, and there has been the one I can't remember. It was in Bellator, I think, but there was a knockout that's been crazier than this.
You know what? Well, okay, Yair. When he starts the Korean Zombie.
See,
the old fucking spinning back elbow.
That, to me,
slept.
That's up there. That's real close just because of the wildness. Although the reason why I think that one goes down in a lot of people's lists is that it truly comes across as being like this one.
Don't you
hold on,
do not
baby.
use that fucking L word.
Fred, let me talk, baby. Come on now.
All right.
Listen, just let me go. You know,
Right.
It was lucky. Hold on, give me a second. I'm not gonna say it was like full luck. What we just watched was relatively lucky, but if we're comparing the luck of that shot in Yair's, get the fuck out of here.
You're going to make me shoot through the fucking roof, Kyle. Okay, listen, I'll give it to the cocksucker. That was a hell of a kick. But if we're going to sit up here and act like that wasn't one of the luckiest things that's ever happened in that fucking octagon, I'll suck your dick in third and main. This is bullshit. That was absolute. You think that cute cocksucker pulls off anything remotely close to that again in his career? Let me tell you something. If he does it again, fucking all praise Allah. But for now, for all of me, he hit a grand slam. It was look. All bullshit aside.
Compared to the Yair shot, which one do you think was more luck? He even said that he drills that.
Oh, fuck off with the you're going to fucking make me blow a top, Kyle. He drills it. And fucking drill his mom. Fuck off with the bullshit. Bullshit. He drills it.
Boy.
And I'm sure fucking Benson fucking Henderson drilled getting fucking thunderstruck by Anthony Pettis off the cage like that, too. Fuck off with that bullshit. That was luck.
So, I don't know, man.
It was a fantastic knockout. Look, all bullshit aside, it was one of the greatest knockouts I've ever seen.
Okay, off the top of your head, you got Yair there, which, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild knockout. He's going down and then up elbows and knocks the guy out with a
that was
couple
crazy.
seconds left.
That was crazy.
That's wild.
Okay.
Not taking the moment because I understand something like Aldo McGregor. Like I understand why, or McGregor Aldo, I should say. I should put the person who knocked him out above it. But I understand why.
That's more significant?
Why it's more significant.
Okay, that's impressive.
But it's not even in the same ballpark as like a holy shit, like what just happened? Like if you think about it from the perspective of someone who does not watch fighting sports at all.
Okay, fair enough. I see where you're going. Okay, fair enough. You don't know who these
nothing.
gentlemen
You're
are.
just watching ESPN's
right.
top 10 list.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the number one, it's like, we got a crazy knockout from the UFC.
Yeah.
What are the knockouts that you'd be like, oh, shit?
Okay, just craziest knockouts. Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo would be up there, but to your point, nowhere near something like this. Yeah. There's only a couple, to be fair, that really compare something like this. The only thing, to be fair, the only ones that come to my mind,
Lando Veneta.
I wouldn't even think of that. And then you got the what was it? The Edson Barboza, the fucking spinning wheel kick to Terry Adam.
Yeah,
fucking thunderstruck. I mean, Terry Adam fucking nobody ever seen Terry Adam again. He fucking got Scooby Doo'd after that. He was fucking gone. But you know what fucking knockout I love? You know what probably is my favorite knockout of all time is Scott Smith and Pete Sell. I don't know if you've ever seen this fight, but Pete Sell hits Scott Smith to the body and hurts him bad. Like, he fucking doubles over and is, like, doubled over. And fucking Pete Sell runs at him, and he fucking one-punch Susies him. Fucking just throws a fucking haymaker Hail Mary and whack him.
Oh, yeah. He bends over.
Yeah, I mean, he's hurt
and he
bad.
runs at him, and he just goes up quick and boop.
And knocks him out with one punch. And that's not quite, to be fair, all joking and hyperbole aside, this fucking kick was pretty fucking amazing. I mean, this is that sort of like you're wrestling with your brother in the fucking basement and you spin around. Like that's some bullshit you try in training, and when you're not even sparring hard, like who the fuck even? That's why he trains this with who? His little brother? Who the fuck trains that? That's the most absurd fucking thing ever. I will say this. Fantastic fucking kick, though.
Not to call him a liar, but if you trained this, the kick wouldn't be possible if the guy even just caught it with the other hand.
Well, right.
I mean, literally, because he caught it with the hand, he caught it.
It was situational.
It made it to where you couldn't block it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, all bullshit aside, you got to give the dude his credit. He threw it. He had the balls to throw it. He stepped into it. He threw it fucking hard. I mean, it picture perfect. It landed. And then the way he died,
the way he died. I like that. The way he died.
The look of the way he sort of
his
just
fucking eyes went all crazy.
Those knockouts are beautiful when they're knocked out before they, like, the moment the foot landed, he was gone off to the Twilight Zone, but he was still standing. Yeah. So you see his fucking eyes disappear into the fucking whispers of the wind realm, and then he just slowly goes down. And he's fucking tensing up. It's fucking low-key a little scary, but it's fucking it makes the knockout look that much more impressive when the person getting knocked out is just fucking eyes rolling in their head shit.
It's those knockouts where your brain shuts down, right? Immediately. But then it's like it has this weird like shutdown, you know what I mean? Where like your neck shuts down like a quarter of a second after your brain, right? And then like your tits are like a half a second after, you know what I mean? And it goes all the way down to your feet. Like your feet don't shut down for like a second and a half after your brain shuts down.
Right.
You know, it's like do. It just goes throughout your body all the way to your toes. And it's like, that's how those knockouts look, and they're fucking absurd looking. You're like, whoa.
As soon as that foot hit his chin, it was like, ding.
Bro, the memes that come out of it, though, the video memes, where it's like are they from Nigeria? The guys who are dancing with the casket? Is that Nigeria?
Yeah. I think so.
Bro, they do that kick, and he goes, and he stops, and then right before he falls down,
like,
it just fades into the Nigerian. Like, they're just dancing with the casket, and they have like these like tissues, and they're waving the tissues over the casket.
You got to give every fucking fighter that steps in that octagon a lot of credit just for
because you can become a meme in a hurry.
And it's like, it ain't like back in the day, you know, where you might end up on some highlight DVD. You're on YouTube immediately.
Right. Instantly.
You're on Twitter going viral. Right now, 85 million people have seen that man get knocked out. Like half the world has seen that. I think they said
it's like the most retweeted thing on the UFC's Twitter.
Probably, yeah. It would make sense.
I think that's what they said already.
Already, right. Within like fucking 12 hours. If not even probably. What the fuck? Like, it's insane, man. Like, but again, like, homeboy deserves the credit, man.
124,000 retweets.
Yeah.
301,000 likes and 5,000 comments.
It was pretty amazing, man. I mean, it was one of those once-in-a-lifetime fucking shots, that's for sure, man.
And then that's not counting the amount of times it's been retweeted from other people's retweets. Because it's been retweeted by, like, every fighter in existence.
Right.
I mean,
so it's probably close to fucking, like, 500,000 retweets, all things considered.
It's just wild. Yeah, that is.
I fucking retweeted it.
That is the pinned tweet on UFC's page, and the numbers are going up as I'm sitting here.
Oh yeah.
The video has 10 million views.
Yep.
And the numbers just keep going up as I'm sitting here.
And that's just Twitter.
That's just Twitter.
Imagine Facebook.
It's just Twitter.
Instagram and YouTube.
That's unreal.
And, you know, every other fucking platform on earth. TikTok, you know, fucking surely fucking everybody in China's seen it by now.
I know we've been talking about this for like 10 minutes, but...
I know we said we were going to talk about it for 30 seconds.
It's just crazy.
It deserves it, though. It deserves it. That was... Look, again, all hyperbole aside, it is one of the best knockouts you're ever going to see.
I was just trying to think of...
I do think it was a fucking lucky shot. I do think it was one in a fucking
billion.
But
I would say most of those are. Even
fair enough, yeah.
Even going back to like Anderson Silva's front kick on Vitor.
Sure.
You need the stars to align a little bit to land it in there.
Right, and then it knocks him out. That
doesn't mean it's not skill, because of course it's skill.
Sure. Absolutely.
But you really got to you had to time it perfectly.
It's perfect.
You had to get it right down he couldn't move his head up or down into the side. You really had to get it in there.
One thing goes the other way, and that doesn't pan out exactly like that.
Yeah.
But shout out to him, though, for doing it. I mean, fuck, he made a name for himself immediately.
What do you think about knockouts? And this was really unfortunate how this went, because I really like Marcus Perez a lot. He fought a newcomer. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, like Duplessis or something.
I don't know. His name was fucked.
I think he was from. Was he from South Africa?
Yeah, his name was like Dracan, or
I just kind of assumed he was going to lose just because he was from South Africa.
Yeah, same.
I didn't even know who the French fighter was, and I was like, well, he's from fucking France. There's no way he's winning. And did he win?
Wait a minute. Was this wasn't the fight with the dude that had the braids?
The Joker face?
Yeah.
Guy with the braids? Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was pretty much winning most of the fight.
What do you when you see that type of knockout, what comes to mind? I can't figure out. There was another fighter that used to do
it. Was really weird.
It was fucking Vulcan. Remember Vulcan had this weird stretch of knockouts?
Yeah, they were just really like close in.
You get these weird rabbit punches and people just fold.
Didn't he hit him in the back of the head? I felt like when I watched the replay, it was on accident, but I felt like he popped him right in the back of the head, and that's what dropped him. They always give the old behind the ear fucking horse shit, but when I watched the replay, again, I'm half stoned most of the time, so maybe I wouldn't see it. It looked
just
like he
didn't
clipped him right in the back of the head, and that dropped him, and then I felt like he kind of gave him another one in the back of the head. That was the end of the fight.
Weird. It just didn't even look like it was that hard. But I guess if you just land on the right spot and the right time, and your body's not planted right, and it just
we've seen tons of those. Even DC and Stipe's first fight, where he kind of just clipped him with that real short punch inside, and down goes Stipe. It didn't look like a whole lot. We've seen Stipe take harder shots than that, but I think sometimes it's just the one you don't see coming that fucking floors.
Yeah, I mean, it has to do with like, again, if your body isn't squared up, or like, or is squared up. I don't know which is better, but like, if the energy isn't able to reverberate through your body the way it needs to, right? If you just stand there and you're super tense and you hit me and I'm, all that energy is going to get absorbed in my head.
Right.
Where if I'm loose, or like I have my weight evenly distributed.
Right.
When you hit me, it's going to get absorbed by my body a lot more than my head.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to get knocked out.
Right.
A lot of the guys who are really tough, quote unquote, I think they're just really good at that. They're really good about right before they get a shot, they're able to kind of like, kind of go with the punch instead of working against it.
Right.
It's like they say in a car crash, like the best thing that can happen to you
be loose
is you get knocked out early.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that your body's super loose. So
exactly.
You don't tense up
So say you start flipping and your body's just real loose.
You just want to roll with it.
Yeah, and it just goes with it.
That makes sense, though. It makes sense. If you tense up, you're probably a lot more likely to break some shit. You're in there fucking tense. Your bones are going to be snapping and popping. Where if you was just fucking floating around like a rag, you probably wouldn't break shit as much.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd think it would be the opposite, right?
Right.
Tensing, you'd think
would help you absorb the blow. That's probably why you naturally tense your body. You think, fuck. But that's probably the worst thing
it's like, again, there are only two sports I can play at this point, are golf and disc golf. So, and it's for both of those, it's a very similar mechanics where the looser you are as you're either throwing or hitting, like you don't want to get your body real tense. Like just go for golf, right? You want it to be this natural uptick and then kind of slow, like it almost feels like it's in slow motion as it's going down,
right?
Because it's like a pendulum; it just kind of hits that crevice and and just goes down real smooth. And there, disc golf's the same way. It's your arms, the levers is real smooth.
See, I'd like to beat the pussy up, baby. I'd be bad at golf. I want to nail that little cocksucker. There's nothing smooth to me. I just want to fucking hit that ball hard as fuck.
Right. And
that's how you don't hit it. That's how you don't hit it hard. Yeah.
The people who
power hit it.
When you watch guys like Jordan Spieth or something, right, and you watch him hit the ball, just drive it a fucking mile. It looks like he didn't even do anything.
He's just like,
it's just this. It goes up. He has just perfect mechanics, and the lever is doing it. Just
hits it at the right angle.
It just hits it, and it just floats.
Golf.
It's like in disc golf. We just had the USDGC championship that just finished up. Congratulations, Chris Dickerson. But like some of the guys who are the longest throwers, you wouldn't fucking. If you look at those, you're like, that dude's a pussy. I mean, they're so unathletic looking, and they fucking throw the disc 800 feet.
I'm gonna be honest with you here. This might come as a bit of a surprise since I'm like the the resident stoner for the show. I think all those dudes that play frisbee golf are pussies.
You got some pretty good athletes in there.
I don't know. What are you guys doing? You're fucking throwing a frisbee at a fucking what is this? You guys made up a fucking sport, and now it's like frisbee fucking professional frisbee throwers.
That's what it is, baby.
You guys
again, they aren't frisbees. Frisbee is a licensed and trademarked.
Okay, all right.
Frisbee is the thing you
spinning.
You play with the dog with.
What do you pricks call them?
They're just called discs.
They're just called discs. Of course they are. To each their own.
They're very different than a frisbee.
Yeah.
They also hurt like fuck if they hit you. So
that's nice to know.
You don't want to try to catch them.
A fucking weapon.
Yep. So anyway.
Yeah. No, with the frisbee golf. Look, dude. One of the greatest knockouts ever. There's some that are comparable, but yeah. We'll see, where he goes, what sort of fighter he is, actually.
What credence do you give in the knockout against Marcus Perez? Do you give that?
No, yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Do you give that kind of a shot? Like, I guess what I'm asking is...
He threw the punch and it landed, I mean...
It was just a weird thing. Like, do you go, holy shit, that guy apparently has a lot of power? Do you go, he has a lot of timing, technique? I mean, what do you give him a lot of credit for that, or do you kind of do what I do, where I dismiss those punches?
Well, okay, so for the knockout alone, I wouldn't say I dismiss it, but it was definitely one of those sort of weird knockouts. Again, I felt like he kind of clipped him in the back of the head. But for me, in that fight particular, the more important part is that dude looked very rarely. You hear the commentators talking about the octagon jitters all the time, and these guys are fucking professional fighters, so they probably see a bunch of little shit that I don't see, even watching all the fights that I watch. That dude, I could see his jitters. He looked nervous and excited, and he was swinging wildly and shit. Like up until the point where he got that knockout, he looked very erratic in there. So that would be my problem with him. I mean, yeah, sure. Like obviously he's got some power. But he didn't look all that great in the fight up until the knockout, to be fair. What the fuck? So
yeah. So it's crazy. Now Marcus Perez drops another fight in the UFC. He's only won 2.
He looked good in that fight.
Now, one of them happened to be against Anthony Hernandez, which at the time I think meant a lot more than maybe it does now.
Right.
And his losses are against Eric Anders and early on, and then Andrew Sanchez, which Andrew Sanchez, just when he's on. But then he also lost to Wellington Turman, and then he just lost to a newcomer from South Africa. And again, much like Paris, France, and I understand they got the MMA factory out there, but like it's still relatively new over there. I mean, they wouldn't even sanction MMA fights in France for a long time. They may still not. I don't know. What they got.
I think they
there.
do now, but
they were weird about it for a while. They didn't want anybody punching each other. You know what I mean?
It was like last year that they sanctioned it or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a relatively newer thing.
It's very new. Yes.
It's been obviously in South Africa for a while. You just don't have a lot of good fighters that come out of South Africa.
Yeah.
Now, I absolutely cannot stand Gareth McClellan. We all know that. That's very storied on this podcast. I've been yelling. I think I complained about Gareth in like my first ever episode. That wasn't an interview. So I've just been on
like that guy forever.
It's just been I've been on that train forever. So I think he might be clouding South African fighters for me. But like,
what'd you think about that prick saying he wants to be the first true African champion? The first real African. And for the record, anybody that might not have seen the fight, this is a white dude. Like, I know he's from South Africa and all, but all things considered, he's fucking European as they come. He wants to be the first African champion, he says.
The problem is,
I know what he meant, for fuck's sakes. But
of course.
You can't have Adesanya and Usman fucking sitting around being like, oh, and don't give me no bullshit about where they train. And I don't give a fuck if you was raised up in Cape Town, South Africa your whole life. If Usman says that he's African and you, Polar Bear, tell me you're African, I'm buying the black guy's fucking line. Fuck off. I don't give a shit where he's fucking training.
Here's the thing. He would be, right? First of all, if he were to become a champion, he would be. Usman is not African. Wasn't he born here?
I don't think
Was he born in Nigeria?
I think so. Or at least Adesanya was, I think. Adesanya was born in Nigeria for sure.
And then just,
now, to be fair,
born and raised in New Zealand?
Yeah, raised in New Zealand. But I think, I don't know if Usman was, but I'm pretty sure Adesanya was definitely born in Africa. But I mean, I suppose if your fucking point is,
this is a problematic conversation for two white people to have.
Yeah, so again, here's a big suck my dick to everybody that don't like it. Fuck off. I didn't ask the guy to say this shit.
The problem is, let me look. I think he was truly born in Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, let's just fucking cut to the chase here. I get what he's saying.
He was born in Nigeria.
Okay, Adesanya?
Yes,
okay.
Usman was.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure Adesanya was.
And I think Adesanya was as well.
Yeah, so both of okay, let's cut to the chase then. Here's what we got. On one side, we've got two black gentlemen that were born in Nigeria that went to America and New Zealand young in their lives, and then we got a white cat that was born in South Africa and stayed there. So I suppose which matters more? Or which is or will we just classify all of them as African champions and be done with it?
Adesanya was born in Nigeria as well.
Okay. Now, I guess, again, we could discuss on when they left. Like, if you were there till 10, does it matter more? If you left at 2, does it not matter at all? It's one of those sort of situations.
Well, someone who was born in Africa and let's just raised in Africa and still lives in Africa would technically be an African champ. The issue with
He's white. Let's just say it.
This is problematic.
He's white.
It's problematic.
He's white. So does that rub us the wrong way? Like he can't be the first African champion because he's white?
The problem is
but South Africa's different.
Yeah, but do you know why South Africa's different?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying there's a lot of white people.
I mean, the problem is South Africa's different. It's kind of like when you. I don't remember. There was a
for very racist reasons.
There was a celebrity that was like posting about how they were a direct descendant of a slave, and they were white, and it was like, yeah, if you're a direct descendant of a slave, it's because the slave master raped them.
Right.
Like, I don't know if I'm like real stoked about that. You know, like I don't know if I'd be advertising.
Shut up.
Yeah.
And it's like Thomas Jefferson saying he liked black girls.
And it's like it's a weird thing with like South Africa because it's like, yeah, you're obviously in South Africa, like they're all white, right?
A lot.
Most of them are white.
A lot of Europeans.
But it's like they're all white because they fucking came in and
pillaged.
Yeah, you know, and like colonized that
part
section.
of Africa.
Yeah,
right.
And it's like I don't know. It's like it's hard to look at. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I don't know.
So geographically speaking, where's Niger in Africa? Is that Northern Africa or is that South Africa too? Could we have that discussion? Like, fuck off, white boy. You're from South Africa. It's not the same.
It's got to be
like Niger's like the real.
You got to be above. You got to
be above this certain line. You're not like a real African. You're like a little bullshit African.
I believe
from
it's
Cape Town.
like Midwest. I believe. Let me look.
Okay. Well, listen. I feel like there's a little bit of credence to that.
You are.
Listen.
Yeah, you are North Africa, kind of going west.
Okay. You know what? All right. I'm here with it. Fuck off, white boy.
And then you got Nigeria right below that, right? And then you got South Sudan in the middle, Ethiopia right there.
Listen, let me tell you something. And most people won't get this fucking reference, but you will, Kyle. So that's all that fucking matters to me. Fuck off with the rest of you.
And then you got the Congo is right in the middle.
Oh, well, yeah. Listen, Congo's fucked, but okay. So if you're from the outskirts of a fucking town, like if you're from fucking Centerville or Oakwood, and you tell people you're from Dayton, I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
Sure.
You're from fucking Cape Town, South Africa. You might as well be in London, prick. You know what I mean? It'd be like, I'm the first African champion. Motherfucker, you ain't fucking training in the jungles of the Congo. South Africa's basically fucking London. Well, of course, I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about because I've been to none of these places. But from what I fucking heard, Cape Town, it's fucking like Australia or some shit. It's not fucking, it's not the fucking same.
It does feel like it's more like Australia than it would be anything else.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like Africa, right? I mean, look at the fucking place. Fucking Dubai, for fuck's sakes. You don't get to be the first African.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's not, like, again, let me be racist here, but that's not what I think about when I think about Africa. What the fuck? It looks like fucking Australia, the Gold Coast, for fuck's sakes. It looks like Asia or something, maybe. Fucking, fuck off with that bullshit.
I mean, I guess to be fair, though, I mean, that wouldn't people that live in Africa be like, hey, that's why we don't like that Africa gets this reputation because we got beautiful parts.
To be fair, that's fucking South Africa. Pull up some fucking Google pictures of fucking Northern Africa. I bet it don't look so delightful. Pull up the Congo. It don't look like that, goddammit. That's fucking tropical, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, I have to fucking travel to South Africa now. We're looking at these fucking pictures.
Let's move to Cape Town.
It's a good vacation destination, apparently.
Let's move to Cape Town.
Yeah, well, listen. The verdict's in. Fuck off. You won't be the first African champion. Izzy and Usman are my first African champions. And white boy, I tell you what, you'll be hard pressed if I even refer to you as an African champion. Now that I've done this little research, you're European for all of me. Fuck off.
It's hilarious.
You're like a weird Australian that just happens to be on the African continent.
I mean, that dude is white as shit.
And your fucking first name's weird. First off, let's just all get into this, too. You ain't going to be the champion. We ain't got to worry about this discussion ever happening.
Here's the thing, though. He's 15-2. He had a very good debut there, and he's born in '94. The guy's 26.
What weight division is he at?
He is at middleweight.
Oh, no, you ain't hang that up. Look, luckily for you, you'll get to fight the other guy claiming the African title. So we'll find out who the baddest dude in Africa is real soon, smart guy.
Right.
If you even make it up the fucking ladder, good luck fighting the Goros of that division. Shitbird.
Let's talk about what do we do with Edson Barboza? Let's go there real quick.
Yeah, for fuck's sakes, I don't fucking know.
Very good fight.
I mean, he's a fantastic fighter, but he's that sort of like quintessential gatekeeper, man. Like, I hate to call him that, but that's sort of just kind of where he is. He keeps trying to like make that sort of title run, but he's just not that guy, man. Fantastic fighter. But I don't really know what we're going to do with Barboza at this point. Like, I don't know. A very, very strong gatekeeper, I guess. Like having him in the fights like we had last night. We found out that Mac Wan's not exactly there yet because he couldn't beat Barboza. If you can't beat Barboza, you sure as fuck can't beat the Dustins and the Habibs of the world. That's just the way I don't, Last night's performance wasn't like, okay.
Well, this is 145, so we're saying he's not going to beat like Holloway or
whatever. Fine, Peter Young. What do we got there? Volkanovski, Holloway. Yeah, listen, the elite of the fucking division. All due respect to Edson Barboza at 45 or 55. I don't think he's, especially not from judging from last night's performance. I don't think he deserves to be in there with Holloway or Volkanovski.
What about Barboza versus?
Tons of good fights for him at featherweight. It's just like I don't know what we're doing with him. What's the point here?
Who's fighting Volkanovski next? The winner of Korean Zombie Ortega?
Or Holloway, I suppose. I mean, if they
for
do
the third time?
I mean, maybe.
I don't want to see that again.
I thought he fucking won the second fight.
I know, but I don't want to see it again.
I don't know, but I
Holloway needs to fight somebody else, get a win, and go.
I agree, but I don't know what they're doing. I think they might be doing that. I would imagine the winner of the Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega, would get it otherwise.
So you could have Barboza fight somebody for kind of next in line. Barboza Holloway, shit. I mean, why not?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys though. We'd have to bring up. If you want to bring up the rankings of featherweight, like there's no shortage of talent at featherweight, and Barboza's not exactly in the front of the line with a decision win over fucking Makwan Amirkhani. All due respect.
True.
So,
valid.
Like, who we got at number fucking 5 or 6 or something with there.
Right, so
tons of tough guys at featherweight.
Featherweight, you got Volkanovski at the top. You got Max Holloway is your contender. And then you got Brian Ortega, who's getting ready to fight Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie's at 4. In the middle there at 3, you got Magomed Sharapov, of course.
Okay.
At 5, you got Yair. 6, you got Calvin Kattar. 7, you got Josh Emmett. 8, you got Arnold Allen. Then Jeremy Stevens, Dan Ike, Shane Burgos, Sodiq Yusuf, Ryan Hall, Edson Barboza, Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize that Barboza was so far down, but I just looked at his record and was like, oh, wait a minute. I guess he's not really in the contender stage.
Yeah.
So Brian Ortega and Korean Zombie are fighting.
Sure.
I think Max Holloway is going to be tabled for a second.
Right.
So you got Zabit.
But I think Zabit and Yair are supposed to do it. Hopefully.
Yep.
That's a thing we've been, I hope that's
We've been wanting.
Great. Yeah.
So then you got at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you got Kattar, Emmett, Allen, and Stevens. I don't know who's fought. I think Stevens and Kattar fought.
Yeah.
Didn't Stevens beat Calvin Kattar?
Fuck. They definitely fought. I don't remember. I think so. Maybe. Really close fight. No. I don't fucking know. No. Didn't Calvin Kattar knocked him out with that step-in elbow, right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. It was that fucking step-in elbow he fucking smashed.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. It was a good fight up to that point, though. I think Calvin Kattar might be a bit much, or just like I don't think Calvin wants to take that fight. Not to say that he doesn't want to fight Barboza, but why would he at this point? I think he's looking for greener pastures, which he deserves. Who was Arnold? Who was right below that? Who was below Calvin Kattar?
Below Kattar's Josh Emmett.
All right. Josh Emmett Barboza sounds fun. I'm here for that. Like that, I can dig that. Or if they wanted to give him another sort of, let's see how good this guy is, give him Bryce Mitchell.
And who is Ryan Hall fighting next? Didn't he got booked against somebody? Is it Ricardo Lamas?
Well, that's who was supposed to be a month of Sundays ago, but
I want to see Ryan Hall fight again, even with all his crazy shit he's been talking about. Remember, he got on some weird. He made some weird thing about Hitler the other day.
No.
And he says people took it out of context, but it's like, no.
It's Hitler, stupid.
We didn't take it out of context. You don't name drop Hitler, dude.
Yeah. There's nothing to take out of context with Hitler, bro.
Don't name drop Hitler. Like, for any reason to try to prove a point.
Yeah. That's the wrong guy to try to utilize your point with. What the fuck?
Because he's trying to make a point of, like, some people do. Yeah. What he was trying to talk about the banality of evil, and he's talking about how evil people do good shit, which is a perfectly fine point, but he just did it in a way that was like, this doesn't sound right.
Right.
Like,
I imagine he did it on Twitter or Facebook or social media.
No, it was in an interview.
Oh,
it was in an interview.
Oh, fair enough.
And again, people did take it out of context, which, okay, got it. But it just, yeah. So it's supposed to be Ricardo Lamas twice, and yeah, that's not happening. He hadn't fought since, July of 2019. He just doesn't fight very much, man. Ryan Hall disappeared forever, too. He fought Gray Maynard December of 2016 and then didn't fight again until he fought BJ Penn, which is just a bizarre fight in December of 18. Then he fought Darren Elkins about 6 months later, and now it's been another year. So I think for Ryan Hall, like, I've always been so interested in Ryan Hall, but he just doesn't fight enough, man, and I need someone like that to fight more.
Are my eyes deceiving me? How did he beat Darren Elkins?
Decision.
Okay. So Darren Elkins went 3 rounds with him?
Correct.
I don't imagine they stood up and traded the whole time.
I don't remember what the...
I don't know. Is Ryan Hall the wizard on the ground that we all make him out to be? What, he couldn't submit Darren Elkins in 15 minutes? I mean, they actually grappled a little bit? I mean, I know Darren Elkins is a good grappler, but what the fuck? I would have supposed Ryan Hall, they act like dude's fucking... The messiah as far as fucking grappling goes. I mean, if fucking Darren Elkins fucking made it to the distance with him, we might want to pump the brakes on his fucking grappling ability a little bit here. People act like, oh, don't nobody want to fight Ryan Hall. Fuck, dude, you could even submit Darren Elkins. I don't know.
Darren Elkins has lost one time by submission, and it was Charles Oliveira back in 2010.
I mean, fair enough. But nonetheless, what the fuck? Ryan Hall's supposed to be a fucking prodigy on the ground. We all do know what that word means, right?
Unless, and listen, unless you're a fucking wizard, you know.
That's what I thought he was.
If you're I didn't mean to say
that's
wizard.
my point.
I didn't mean to say wizard. Sorry. Unless you're going up against a wrestler is what I was trying to say. I just said wizard for some strange reason. But like a wrestler is going to negate some of that, you know.
Yeah, well, listen.
And that's Darren Elkins.
I don't know. I'm not.
Darren Elkins has lost 4 fights in a row. Volkanovski, Ricardo Lamas, Ryan Hall, then Nate Lindwire.
Okay, well, Nate Limwire might be one to worry about. But, I mean, the other 3 up to then, no shame in that.
He's fighting again November 7th, and I think if he loses that, he's gone.
Yeah, probably.
You can't really drop 5 in a row.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in the fucking bare knuckle fighting championship. I still can't believe that Paige Van Zandt's going to fight in that fucking place.
I just
can't. I can't wrap my mind around it. Her getting fucking socked bare knuckle. Tell you what, though, they got my view. I won't be missing it, as far as it goes.
That's what they were trying to do, I guess.
No shit. I mean, it worked.
Let's take a look ahead. Oh, no. Let's talk about Mariah Sandhagen.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, fantastic fucking finish again. Corey Sandhagen, baby. Corey Sandhagen is very quietly, building a name for himself. He's only lost to Aljamain Sterling.
Aljo did
in the UFC.
Aljo did make it look easy, though. That's the one thing that kind of rose me wrong about Corey Sandhagen. Aljo made it look easy.
Well, but that's why Aljamain should be fighting for the fucking title.
I think he will. Be, too. I'm pretty sure that's what we're all assuming is going on.
And I think even more so now it's proven. And here's another fucking MMA math. He takes care of Corey Sandhagen easy and gets knocked out in a minute by Marlon Moraes.
Yep.
It's the MMA math is once again a little funky.
Yep. It's one of those things too, though. It's that striker grappler thing. If Moraes doesn't land that knee and Aljo doesn't get starched, how's that fight play out? If Aljo actually gets him to the ground, you know. Although to be fair, Moraes probably has a lot stronger of a ground game than fucking Sandhagen. So
Moraes loses his debut in a very, very close fight. Some argue that he won.
Yeah, it was some bullshit.
Against the Sun South, right?
Oh, was it a Sun South?
Against the Sun South.
Oh.
Okay, then he beats Dotson, Sterling, Rivera, and then he finishes a Sun South and he fights him again in the rematch. Finishes him in 3 minutes. Right. Then he fights Henry Cejudo, loses. Then he fights Jose Aldo and wins, but he kind of ekes by.
Yeah, that was the one I thought that he fucking.
Yeah, and then he got Corey Sandhagen. So he has 3 losses in the UFC. One was a debut and very, very close. And then to Cejudo and then to Sandhagen.
Right.
So what do you do with Moraes?
He's good to go. I mean, there's no, again, Cejudo, for all the shit I like to give him, was the man, and just this knockout loss to Corey Sandhagen. I mean, probably needs to get a couple wins under his belt, but I wouldn't, he's fine. I wouldn't be tripping or nothing. We don't need to have any serious discussions about Marlon Moraes at this point. He's still, his spot in the division is still fine.
Is Jan booked? What exactly are we doing with him at this point?
Aljamain, I guess.
Aljamain has got to fight him.
Yeah, that's got to be it. I don't know why we're not announcing it, but surely that's the fucking fight, man. It has to be. There's nothing else. Or fucking Corey Sandhagen, I guess. What the fuck? But you certainly can't give him the fight now.
Especially because his last loss was against
dude. Yeah, like a finish from Aljo. I mean. Yeah, I don't know. It has to be Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan. And why wouldn't they make that fight? I mean, it don't make no sense now. Corey Sandhagen ain't no more popular than Aljamain Sterling, for fuck's sake. Like, I have no idea why they wouldn't just make it. Like, surely they're going to make that fucking fight, man. They have to.
I'm trying to find. Why can I not find him?
He might be spelling his name, y'all.
There it is. Got it.
Pichula.
So they don't have him booked against anybody right now. He has not lost a fight in the UFC and is obviously currently the champion in a bizarre fashion. But why the fuck did he fight? Whatever. It doesn't matter now. But
It is a little
why
weird
did he fight
that he's
Aldo? Like, what the fuck?
It is a little weird that he's the
Why would you
champ.
not fight Sterling at that point? All right. Let's take a look ahead because we do have some stuff coming up.
Oh, we got some big stuff coming up.
We got some big stuff coming up.
I fucking cannot wait for this next weekend's fight, man. The Korean Zombie and Brian Ortega is going to be fucking fun, dude.
So that's what you have as your main event.
That's next Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Whew, what a fight, boy. I bet you this card sucks, though, don't it? On paper, settle down, you pussies.
That ain't great.
Yeah, I knew because that main event is so fucking strong. The UFC knows what they're doing now. They're cruising the boxing route. They get one really strong fight, and then they pour a bunch of shitbirds on us on the in between. Which, to be fair, at least with MMA, you get moments like we got last night. Even with a shitbird fight, you can produce a fucking oh shit moment. So
yeah, I mean, there's like some names in here, obviously, and
yeah, always.
And there's some like
up and comers or whatnot.
Exactly, there's a lot of up and comers.
Who's the co-main?
Co-main is Cyril Gain versus Ante Delija.
God, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm here for Cyril Gain, and I get it. But yeah, that's a rough co-main.
He is the number one heavyweight in Croatia.
Who the other guy?
And the co-main.
Okay, I'm here for that though. Good little heavyweight fight. Cyril Gain has a lot of fucking hype behind him right now.
Did he win PFL 2019? Has a win in PFL number 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But then he doesn't go anywhere else. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is there. And then he fights in KSW against Ollie Thompson and wins in the second round. I remember him. Remember Ollie Thompson?
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't he in the? I know he was in Bellator at one point.
I think he was in the UFC too.
Because who did he fight in?
Name rings a bell, but I can't quite place him.
It's because he fought Matt Mitrione and then Chet Congo in Bellator.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fought Matt Mitrione and then Chet Congo.
Chet Congo. He got beat by fucking Timothy Smith this weekend.
Chet Congo did?
In France.
Oh, boy.
Chet Congo, buddy. Chet Congo's been the biggest letdown.
Or Timothy Johnson. Yeah,
Timothy Johnson, yeah. The dude with the fucking stupid
mustache.
stash. Yeah. Fuck, dude. How you get beat up by that damn dude in your home fucking country? They finally have an event in France for your silly ass.
Listen, he's the fucking. He went over there. He already beat Chet Congo. He had lost to Chet Congo once. Right, his debut in Bellator is Chet Congo, and he lost. Right, then he loses to Minikov, which is fine. Okay, then he beats Tyrell Fortune and Matt Mitrione. Then he refights Chet Congo. This time gets a split decision win. But the first time around, he lost by punches against Chet Congo. So Chet Congo still, I think, has the better of that.
Hey, yo. I'll never forget, man, when Chet Congo was in the UFC. I think it was after that horseshit Pat Barry come back. That motherfucker said, "Give me the Tito." Give me the Tito. You better sit the fuck down somewhere, Chet. You ain't getting the Tito's at all. You even barely got the Tito in fucking Bellator.
That's funny.
Fuck's sakes.
Speaking of France, that has to be one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
Oh yeah,
not even close.
That was not necessarily just a crazy like knockout, but the comeback. God,
like, what the
Chet
fuck?
Congo was all but done.
He was on Queer Street,
big time. Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, Queer Street.
Yeah,
It's weird. Like
I love it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Queer Street isn't like offensive.
You know.
Is it?
I don't know, dude.
It's not offensive.
I feel like it probably rides the line. I mean, there's definitely some social justice warriors out there that probably would take offense to you.
Queer Street is a colloquial term referring to a person being in some difficulty, most commonly financial. It is often associated with Carey Street, where London's bankruptcy courts were once located.
Man, this is ridiculous. If I can't use the F word, you can't say Queer Street.
I know, but it's not.
It's the equivalent of saying it's a bad street to be on. It's a fucked up street.
Queer is a fucked up street.
Yeah, we don't want to be on Queer Street. Why is it going to be a queer street?
Queer means weird, first of all.
Okay.
Queer. Fuck isn't an actual word. Queer is.
It means weird, huh?
Queer. Yeah, queer. Something's weird. Yeah.
Fair enough.
A term used to describe the condition of someone who just got clocked lovely, but is still barely standing somehow, or was knocked down and unwisely got back up, marked by wobbly legs and a glazed over look in his eyes. Queer Street, right? I'm calling it.
No, I know what it fucking means.
Many men have been sent there courtesy of Mike Tyson.
Oh, Jesus
has
Christ.
nothing to do with sexual orientation.
Yes. You guys are fucked.
Big right hand by Hearns, and Duran is on Queer Street.
Yeah, well, listen.
There's your example.
It doesn't offend me, but I imagine somebody out there's got the.
If you're offended like Queer Street, you can, well, I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. Fine, suck my dick.
That should offend you a little more than
you can suck my dick right there on Queer Street if you want.
Bloop.
Right.
Well, we're fucking touching the lines today, aren't we, boy? Fucking race and fucking homosexuality and the whole most of it.
So yeah, that card is fine. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but look, the main event though, boy, that's a fucking goddamn. I'm glad during the promo they actually did show. I thought they were going to just not mention the whole fact that fucking Brian Ortega slapped his translator, the fucking Korean pop star. I'm so glad they put that in there. Like, lest we not forget, guys, he fucking slapped his buddy when the Korean Zombie went to the restroom. That's fucking fantastic. And we need to sell that angle up. I don't. Y'all might have forgot. I haven't forgot. There's still a lot of heat with this fucking match. Fuck, I can't wait to see these fucking guys fight. Not only, this is one of those rare fights too, right? Where not only is it actually fucking super intriguing on paper, makes sense for the division, but there's actually some real heat. I mean, this fight has it all, right? Like divisional relevance, actual heat, and not bullshit manufactured heat, not fucking Henry Cejudo heat. Like, Brian Ortega literally smacked his friend in the face.
Yes.
And said, I told you I was going to smack you. You're a bitch. What the fuck? Like, made it, he made it very clear why he did it. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't like, oops, didn't mean to do this. Like, yes, you're a bitch and I slapped you and now I'm going to beat up your fucking sissy boyfriend. It's fucked. Like, and stylistically, it's a super fucking intriguing fight. Brian Ortega's got a little knockout power, but I think he got a little cute with that knockout of Frankie Edgar, and I think he learned real fast that against Max Holloway. Maybe he should fucking fall out of love with his hands. Going into this fight, what is intriguing for me is what Brian Ortega does. Is he going to try to strike with Korean Zombie, or is he going to immediately get in there and fucking drag him to the ground? Now, we know that the Korean Zombie's competent on the ground, but I think we all would assume that Brian Ortega would have the advantage down there, too.
Yeah.
So, and I would assume that the Korean Zombie's got the advantage on the feet. So,
yeah.
Very stylistically intriguing, too.
Yeah,
man.
real into that fight, for sure.
One of my more anticipated fights for, I don't know, dude, and I know I'm on an island with this, but just stylistically, fight alone, I'm almost more intrigued by that fight than the one that we're about to mention, Khabib and Gaethje, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Khabib Gaethje's bigger, there's bigger stakes on the lines, but boy, the Korean Zombie and Ortega is a fucking interesting fight for me, man.
So then you go to UFC 254, which is now 2 Saturdays away.
Ooh.
You got Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. You got Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier. You got Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. You got Cynthia Calvillo versus Laura Murphy, but specifically Cynthia Calvillo. You got Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cutelaba.
Finally.
You got another Nurmagomedov going up against Sergey Morozov.
That is his cousin. Too,
Umar, yes,
fair.
Umar.
Literally Khabib's cousin.
12-0. I believe he's had just one fight in the UFC. Fights at 135, which is interesting. You got Sam Alvey on this card, fighting at 205.
That's some Highland Sam shit.
Hey, we haven't seen him in a minute. He used to fight all the time. Stefan Struve versus Tay Tuivasa.
Interesting.
Casey Kenney versus Nathaniel Wood. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
Alex Oliveira.
Oh, who's the Brazilian cowboy fighting?
He's fighting Shavkat Rakamonov.
Jesus Christ.
Who is from Uzbekistan. He's an M1 guy. Not just an M1 guy. It looks like he was very successful in M1. I don't know anything about him. I would imagine he was the champion for M1. Mm-hmm. He was, correct. He was champion in M1. I think a couple times over. So someone I should know, but I do
Makes
not
sense
because
why you're UFC now.
Because I don't watch M1. So
M1 was fucked. They were doing medieval sword fights and shit. It was fucking chaos over in M1.
Love it.
M1 Global.
Yep. So yeah, that's what we have to look forward to here.
Finally, though, that's
a fucking card.
Yeah, which I mean, pay per view. So, and I for one, that's also should be noted that there's an early start time on that.
2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. the fucking fight start. I actually really fucking love that, man. I'm like an old man these days. These fucking late fucking fight cards, the pay per view cards, man. Come fucking 12:31 in the morning. Unless that main event is really fucking exciting, I am fucking nodding like a dope fiend. I for one, am going to be fucking stoked that the fights will be over by 10 or shit 7 or 8. Fucking nice.
Yeah. I think that's all I got.
Is that all we got? What else do we got? Is there?
That's pretty much it.
Let's see. What else?
We got any news?
Oh, well, we do got the little bit of the, let's just quickly touch on the John Jones shit.
Oh, yep.
Him and Izzy were arguing. I don't really care about that. I want to know what you think about John admitting to hiding under the cage and why he admitted it and all that.
I think he admitted it because I don't think he was really thinking about it. Like, I think Izzy was getting under his skin, and he just kind of did that thing where, like, so I had a guy troll one of my posts, like, hardcore, and he's just a piece of shit. And he starts trolling the post, so we all start making fun of him. And then towards the end, he starts posting, like, he's a comedian, so we talk about how he has nobody comes to his show. So he starts, like, posting pictures of people in the audience at his shows. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a
like,
little weird.
Yeah, like, we're making fun of you. Like, and now you're trying to prove because you post a picture of 20 people that, like, you get to a point where you can act like people are under your skin all you want. But when you start making decisions like that, it's obvious that we've gotten under your skin and you're now bothered and trying to defend yourself. Right. So that's kind of the whole point of being a troll is that you can't really get under your skin.
Right.
So they were kind of just trolling each other. And I think he was getting under his skin. So we got to a point where he's starting to have to explain stuff. So if you can back someone to a corner where they're trying to explain things to you,
right.
You've clearly gotten under their skin.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I think that's all that it was. I think he just got under his skin, so he wanted to explain it so that way this narrative would stop. The problem is he just admitted to doing something that you can't fucking do. So
I don't think he's going to get in trouble for it.
I don't think so either.
I mean, it's so retro fucking at this point. I don't think
he probably should.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a whole different topic, but. You know what that whole thing hit for me, though? I've came on this podcast and plenty of other podcasts before and sort of just said that it's weird how John Jones is perceived. Like, I feel like he could have brought in a lot more of the black community if he wasn't such a, I don't know, somewhat of an Uncle Tom, quite frankly. What the fuck, if I'm just keeping it a bean. But you know what's ironic about John? That's a facade. He's not John Jones would probably be the biggest star on earth if the fucking dude was just himself. Let me ask you something. Why do we fucking champion and idolize the Diaz brothers? Is it because of their eloquent English?
Yeah, right. You can't understand them half the time.
The reason we champion and like those dudes is because they're rebels. Because they do smoke weed, because they do flip the bird, because they do say "fuck you." They're rebels to authority. John Jones is all that and more. He's just spent so much time trying to convince us that he's this good Christian boy that cares about all this fucking bullshit and believes in fucking Jesus. Dude, embrace. You fucking hiding under the mat because you got done smoking a blunt's the coolest shit I've ever heard.
Right, just
what the
admit
fuck?
To that 10 years ago.
Just say it. What are they going to do? I mean, I guess maybe they could have suspended him for 6 months. It would have been worth taking the time off for us all to be like, oh shit, John was smoking blunts and shit. Like now it's meh. But 5 years ago, when we all thought you were in there sticking needles in your ass, John, if this is actually the truth, and then John had a tweet. I suppose they were going back and forth on Twitter for like 3 days. I suppose Izzy said something about his kickboxer career, and John, for all me, the best tweet of the whole fucking beef, John responded and said, I've snorted more grams of cocaine than you have wins on your kickboxing record, little boy. Sit down. Beef over. John, you're the fucking king. I mean, the sad thing is it's fucking true. What the fuck?
Hilarious.
I mean, if you just was who you are, dude, you would be so much more popular. Like, you look at Mike Tyson, the Diaz brothers, all these sort of John wants everybody to think he's a good guy, but he's not. And I don't look, all things considered, I don't mean he's actually a bad guy. I just mean that he's real.
Yeah.
A lot of guys cheat on their wife. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just like, real talk. A lot of people have done cocaine. Everybody smokes weed. Like, he's just a normal, wild-ass dude. Fucking embrace that, John. Like, fuck it. Put on a fake persona. Like, look at Colby and Cejudo. Ham it up if you got to. Like, but fucking embrace that. Like,
yeah.
You lying about shit. Like, again, if you really did just get done smoking a blunt and that's why you hid under the cage, all bullshit aside, for all these years, that's been one of the weird fucking rumor stories going around in May. I would imagine that nobody thought it was because he just got done smoking a hooter. Everybody probably assumes if you believe that he hit under the cage, it was because he was hiding from USADA, quote unquote, the fucking Nevada State Athletic Commission, whoever the fuck was there to test him, because of steroids. Nobody assumed it was because he got done smoking weed and he was afraid of that. Like, fuck, you should have told us that a long time ago, John. Like, nobody gives a fuck if you do coke or weed. What the fuck? Like, the only thing, and quite frankly, it doesn't really seem like nobody even cares about steroids in this fucking sport as far as it goes. But if anything, that's the only thing that really matters. Yeah. Embrace the drug usage, bro. Nobody cares. Like, yeah, maybe your church or whoever you're trying to impress in your real life might be a little offended, but all the rest of us are going to think you're cool for it. Not saying that's okay, but again, the Diaz brothers should not be fucking idols. All due respect, I like them, but they should not be these popular fucking sought-after figures. They're fucking crazy. But they're real to themselves, and they're authentic, and we fucking love that sort of shit. We eat it up. What the fuck? It's like, John, you've got the goods. Stop giving us this bullshit version of yourself. Just be your fucking self, man. Own all the bullshit you do, and I think you'd be a lot more popular for me. Look at Floyd Mayweather. He made billions just being the guy that everybody hates. John, we already hate you. Embrace it.
Right.
Give us more reasons to hate you for fucking. The blueprint is there. Look, if Colby and Henry Cejudo can take their mediocre fucking fighting. Okay, I shouldn't say that. They're great fighters. Let me calm down. But if they can take their mediocre, middling personalities and go from fucking prelim fighter to main eventer that actually sells pay-per-views just by hamming it up and shooting their mouth off a little, John, imagine what you could do if you just ham it up a little and shoot your mouth off. Fucking do that. You're about to go to heavyweight. Don't come in with this humble bullshit. We all know that you think you're the baddest dude in the bar. Fucking say it. Kick in the door and wave in the 4-4 for fuck's sake. Like, be that guy. Make people fucking hate you. I know people like say they hate John now, but they don't really hate John Jones. You know what I mean? Like, he don't really give him a reason. He's too passive. Let John come out and really fucking embrace this dark side, and people would really hate that dude, and he'd be a fucking huge star, man. I love the cocaine line, though. I'm not going to lie. I've snorted more grams of cocaine, and it's so good because it's true. It's true. I mean, fuck, 28 grams in an ounce, 100 grams. John's probably snorted 1,000 grams of coke in his fucking life. He's been doing blows since he was in college. What the fuck? I mean, John Jones has done a lot of cocaine, man. What the fuck? He's a fucking goddamn beast.
I just think... all this should be so much more meaningful to me if I thought they were ever going to fight. But it's like, it would make no sense for Adesanya to ever fight John Jones. He's just so much bigger. Now John is at heavyweight. So he'd have to fight him at 205. And 205 is fucking 20 pounds heavier than where you currently fight.
This is just a weird,
It's kind of a weird beef because it just doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, if John was still at light heavyweight at the very least, then maybe it's like, okay, it's something doable. Like, yeah, now, at this point, fucking John's heading the other direction, man. He's heading to heavyweight. And quite frankly, that's where I want him.
Yeah.
We've all wanted John to fight heavyweights for a long time. He's going to fight heavyweights. All due respect, Izzy, fuck off.
Yeah.
If you want to go to 205, that division's wide open right now. Go up there. Yeah. Go, and then who knows? You go up to 205, you fucking, knock out a few people, take that belt.
Yawn.
Yeah. Year and a half down the line, then maybe, that we can do fucking John versus Izzy at 205. John comes back to light heavyweight to reclaim his belt or, whatever. But for now, it don't make no sense. John's on his way to heavyweight. And to be fair, Izzy still got some shit done to do at middleweight. I do think, again, there's something to be said about the way that Anderson defended his belt against Challenger day in, day out. Travis Lutter and Patrick Cote. You know, there was a lot of guys that Anderson Silva fought in the day that people were like, oh, this guy don't deserve the shot, but it was his turn. So you defend against that guy. I realize I kind of contradict myself because that's what John Jones did. Yeah, but John was doing it for a long, like, Adesanya is not there yet. John was the champion for a decade. I mean, Izzy just got in the UFC 2 years ago. Well, he needs, you know, he's got a few fights at middleweight, and then he's got shit at 205. Like,
valid.
The John Jones thing is a little premature.
Very valid. Well, hopefully we got some more news for next week.
Oh, we will.
And
we'll be coming off the hills of the Zombie and Ortega.
Yes, am I going to be here?
Are you?
I don't know if I'll be here on Sunday.
Okay,
I'm going on vacation.
Oh, okay. Well, worst comes to worst, we'll get it in the middle of the week or something.
Yeah,
we'll have to get it in.
Yeah, we'll get something in. I'll have to look and see if I'm on.
Maybe do a quick fucking little Skype call or something if you're fucking on vacation. At least like a little 20-minute reaction to the main event at least.
We come back. We come back Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we come back Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I'll be here Sunday.
All right, fair enough. There you go.
So there we go. Awesome, my friend. I'll see you next week.
You got it, brother.